Hello, today we will be learning about HTML tags. However, before we begin, please make sure you've completed your Do Now in Popcode and you've submitted in Google Classroom. I'm going to give you about 5 seconds to submit if you haven't already. All right, so let's move on to our lesson today. Our objective for today is that coders will describe how web pages are built, our vocabulary, guided notes, HTML, tags, angle brackets, and p tags. As a quick note, your guided notes in front of you are designed to help you focus on the important parts of the lesson. So feel free to look at them anytime during independent work time or during a lesson to help you. This is what your guided notes should look like for today. You can look for this pencil symbol as a reminder for when to write something down. It will be found in the top right corner of these slides. The words that you need to write down will also be underlined. So, HTML. First of all, what is HTML? Do you speak a language other than English? Whether you do or you don't, HTML is a language too. However, instead of using this language to communicate with humans, you use HTML to communicate with computers. HTML is a computer language that is used to create the structure for web pages on the internet. So as you see here, on the left is HTML. On the right is what you would see on a web page. I want you to quickly jot down what are some differences between the HTML that we write and the final web page that we see on the right. So based on this past picture, what are some differences you notice? You can also think through some similarities as well. You may have said some differences are that the HTML have things like these angular things and things with words like HTML, title, body that doesn't show up in the web page. You may have also noticed that there's some text like 2.1 HTML text sample that doesn't show up where the other words are, but it showed up here. So those are all some questions you should keep considering as we go on to this lesson, and hopefully they will be all answered. So, what does HTML look like? HTML is created with tags. Here is the structure of an element. So here you have, on the left, you have an opening tag, and then you have a closing tag on the other end. In between the two tags, you see some HTML content. In this case, it says some text. If we zoom into the opening tag we saw earlier, HTML tags are created with angle brackets. The tag name goes inside angle brackets. This is an example of an opening tag. So to make this tag, we had to first put an opening angle bracket, put the name of the tag, and then put a closing angle bracket. So all of this creates our opening p tag. HTML elements, however, need an opening and a closing tag. Closing tags go at the end of your element code. Closing tags need a slash before the tag. So this is a closing tag that you would see after the text. So here you have an opening angle bracket, just like the opening p tag. You have a closing angle bracket, and you have the name of the tag, but this time you have a slash. And the slash tells us that it is a closing tag. To put it all together, you can think of opening and closing tags like mittens. You need one on the left and you need one on the right. Your content or your text goes in between the opening and closing tag. Quick lightning question. What is the difference between these two tags? You may have said that one is an opening tag and one is a closing tag, which would be correct. This on the left is an opening p tag. This on the right is a closing p tag. Lightning question 2. What is the stuff between the tags called? In other words, what is hello? This hello is HTML content. Lightning question 3. These are all examples of, if you said tags, you are correct. Here are some examples of opening and closing tags. Again, the name of the tag is indicated by what's in between the angle brackets. So the first one is an H1 tag, the second one is a P tag, third one is a closing P tag, etc. Let's go ahead and create some paragraph tags using the P tag as part of our guided practice. So I'm going to open this guided practice, and you should be able to see this in front of you. It should say 2.1 HTML tag guided practice. The instructions say, let's create a few paragraphs using the tag. All right, so I'm going to start in line 7. In later lessons, you'll learn why we are starting in between the opening body tag and the closing body tag. To create a paragraph, I know I need to use tags. I know I need to also have an opening tag and a closing tag. So I'm going to start with my opening tag. To create my opening tag, I need an opening angle bracket, the name of the tag, which in this case is P, a closing angle bracket, and I'm going to go ahead and close my opening P tag with a closing P tag. So it's going to look the same, except there's a slash in front of the P. So now whatever I type in between my opening and closing tag will show up as a paragraph on the page. So I'm going to write, hi, today I learned a new language, HTML. That's my first paragraph. Now I want to make another one, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to press enter, do another opening P tag, do a closing P tag on the other side, and sandwiched in between, I'm going to write HTML is my new favorite. Oops, I spelled favorite wrong. New favorite language. All right, so here are my 2 paragraphs. So there's my guided practice. I'm going to go back to the slides, and now it's your turn. What you need to do is you need to create some paragraph elements using tags like we just did. Please make sure you're logged into Popcode, and let's see what that looks like. I'm going to click on this link, and what you see in my window is what you should see in yours. And let's just quickly go through this assignment. So it says, these paragraphs are all on the same line. The page looks messy. Use HTML to fix this. So even though in our HTML in the left, even though paragraph 1 is the best paragraph of all, paragraph 2 is pretty sweet too though, even though these are on different lines, it doesn't render that way in our web page. So as you can see here on the right, everything is clumped together, and we want to fix that. We want to get each of these sentences on its own separate line in its own paragraph. So let's go back into the instructions. Each Popcode independent assignment, you should expect to see a mild level, a medium level, and a spicy level. The mild level is going to immediately test what you learned today. So in this case, we learned how to use tags. So that's what it's going to have you do. If you're ready for more of a challenge, please make sure to go on to Medium, where you can try out some more tags. And finally, if you feel like you're really up for a challenge, you can try out Spicy, where it gives you different font tags to try and see what they do. So let's go to mild and read it again. Use HTML tags to put each of the 3 statements on its own line. Check your work. Does your Popcode look like the example on the board? So again, you want this to look like what we saw in the slides. Let me go back to that really quickly. you want it to look like this example here. So you have about 15 minutes to do your independent practice. Once you're finished with your independent practice, please make sure you're creating a snapshot and you're adding a link and submitting it in Google Classroom. Once you're finished, please go on to the closing. So today we were able to describe how web pages are built, and then you can move on to the exit ticket. There are 3 questions. Please make sure you're answering all of them, and your exit ticket will be found in Google Classroom. So that's all. Today we learned about HTML tags, and looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.